Hi, everyone. Thanks for checking out this interview. My name is Fahad. I'm your host. And today I have a very special guest, Elohor Thomas. She's the co founder and CEO of CodeLn, a platform that helps African uh, coders to get jobs in tech. She's going to be talking more about that and how she founded the company, how they're helping young Africans get programming jobs, and a lot of other good stuff. So stay tuned. Welcome, Elohor.
Thank you very much, Fahad. It's great speaking with you.
Yeah, I appreciate you taking the time to chat. Took a little while to get you here, but here we are.
Yeah,
Yeah, so you're in Nigeria, right?
currently, yes, I'm in Lagos, Nigeria.
Okay, great. Let's start with you telling us about CodeLn, what it is, and what you do.
Okay, so CodeLn started at about late 2017. That's when we started working on the idea, my co-founders and I. And we kicked off because we had found a problem that we had the expertise to solve. So we wanted to be in my co-founders and I. We are all software engineers by background, educational background, and also our work experiences. So for us, we were like, okay, we want to find out what are the problems in our field that we can solve, and finding a job or recruitment came to mind. So we spoke to companies that hire software engineers. We interviewed a lot of them. We also interviewed programmers themselves to find out what are the challenges. So a couple of challenges came up that was common across both sides, and we figured that okay, fine, this is a problem we want to solve, or we feel we have the expertise to solve. So there was the issue of long time to hire. There was the issue of verifying the quality of the programmers from the clients. Then for the programmers, it was mostly amongst all of their challenges, it came down to one thing: they wanted to find their dream job, working in a place that is convenient and enjoy their work environment, right? So we decided to, after a series of pivots, of course, we decided to kick off with what CodeLn is currently, which is a platform that helps companies seamlessly hire skilled African programmers. Then also for the programmers, we like to say we help them find their dream jobs, right? So I'm glad to say that currently our focus is on African programmers. So we have over 9,000 across over 15 African countries programmers on our platform. And then for the clients, we have both local and international clients whom we help um, to employ software engineers. So I would say part of our value is speed. We have our slogan says your ideal dev is just a click away,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So speed and automation, and we have a software product that manages all of this process from posting a job to testing the skills of the candidates, which is being handled by a proprietary software solution, and to managing the process, an applicant tracking system, and even to the point of presenting an offer to the candidate. We have a marketplace, so companies can go and see the kind of talent we have on the platform. So yeah, very interesting stuff. I
Yeah,
can just keep going on and on and on.
yeah, that is very interesting. So, yeah, so it sounds like you had to build your own software, and then to find the talent, to also find the clients. It's a lot of stuff. So, how long have you been around? Like, when did you found this?
Okay, so I would say unofficially, I started working on the idea in October 2017, right?
Yeah.
So incorporated in around November 2018. So I would say we are a little bit over 2 years right now, right? And we started in Ghana, and
Hmm.
currently we are in two countries. We are in both Ghana and Nigeria. We have offices in Ghana and Nigeria, but in terms of our talent pool, we have them from across over 15 African countries.
Wow,
Yeah.
amazing. So, you started in Ghana. Were you living in Ghana when you came up with the idea or saw this problem?
Okay. So ideally, it was we went for an accelerator program. It's called MEST. It holds in Ghana for 1 year. It's a training and then an acceleration program. So at the end of the training, you get a certificate, diploma in software entrepreneurship, and your company could get funded. So MES brings software. It brings software entrepreneurs from across at our time over five no at our time 5 African countries: Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, South Africa, and Ivory Coast.
Yeah.
So that was where I found my co-founders.
Oh, nice.
And yes, yes, in Ghana we kicked off 2017.
Awesome. Yeah, that was gonna be my next question because I was listening to one of your interviews and you mentioned how your co-founders are from Kenya, right?
There's four of us in the
Okay.
co-founding team. So there's myself, it's very much a Pan-African team. So there's
Yeah.
myself, I'm from Nigeria. And then there's Felicia. Felicia is from Kenya. So it's a 50% female founded team. There's two
Okay.
male and two female. Right. So
Nice.
Felicia is from Kenya and she's a software engineer. So we all have a background in software engineering. Felicia has worked with Kenya's #1 telco, that's Safaricom, before she
Mm-hmm.
joined CodeLn. So she comes with great expertise. Then there's Dennis. Dennis is a seasoned cybersecurity engineer, also from Kenya. And then there's Dexter. Dexter is from Ivory Coast, the francophone part of West Africa. So it's like
Yeah.
from East Africa to Anglophone West Africa to Francophone West Africa. And
Yeah.
diversity is just, I think, part of the thing that makes us unique.
Yeah. That's awesome. That's great. Very balanced team with different expertise. You come together and you decide to solve this problem. How are you making it easier for the programmers to find these jobs and for clients, the employers to find the right candidates?
Okay, so I would say our platform is targeting in niche. First of all, we are focused on tech talent. So we're talking programmers, software engineers, UI UX designers, data scientists, and the likes, and mostly tech talent, right? And then our pool is a pool of African talent because, well, we are Africans and we want Africans to get more opportunities out there. And as hard as it might be to believe there's talent in Africa, even LinkedIn says there's over 100,000 software engineers or profiles with software engineers or in the tech space on their platform, right? From Nigeria and Ghana alone, right? So there's
Oh,
talent
wow.
available here. So what we are doing is showing the world that there's talent available. We have this talent on our platform. So how we make it easy is, like I mentioned earlier, our process is automated. For the software
Mhm.
engineers, it's completely free for them to sign up. All they need to do is go fill up their profile, something similar to what is on their CV, and then they are into the marketplace. But of course, before we match them to jobs, they go through a two-stage verification process. So we want to test their foundational understanding of their skills. And the second one is, I think I mentioned we have a proprietary testing platform. So
Yeah.
this is a project-based assessment platform. So we have our own ID, they go online, they build projects because we believe um, from our research, speaking to clients, they want to employ engineers that have the right skills and can build products. So
Yeah.
we once the engineers come on the platform, build a simple product similar to what perhaps they'll be employed to perform. So this project is being added to their portfolio. So for them, we are helping them build a portfolio of projects. You can come and take as many projects as you want on our platform and it's attached to your profile. So when client recruiters, let's say the clients are recruiters come, they can see, okay, these are the products that this person has worked on live on CodeLn, and we give grades for every project conducted. So this is how well the candidate perform. This is their strengths, this is their weakness, and every other thing. Then for the client, I would say our speed is one thing that sets us apart from our competitors. We have filled roles, senior roles that are tough to fill in as little as 3 days, right? So first of all, we have a platform that is automated. So in less than 5 minutes, a recruiter can just come, sign up, submit a job or fill up a job vacancy. Immediately you fill up your job vacancy, you see recommendations of talents on our pool that match your skills. So you can start reaching out to them that minute, right?
Yeah.
Then you for clients, companies that have their process of recruitment, you can manage it on the platform. So we have the applicant tracking system. So you can move them from interviews to different stages to testing stage, of which they can be tested on our platform. So it's helping the recruiter have everything in one platform. You can even present an offer to the candidate still on the platform. So I would
Yeah.
say it's a very rich and resourceful tool, because even for the programmers, we have resources that they can learn with. We have a learning part. So, well, it's still preparing you for the time when you get your job while you're still like in waiting, right? So
Yeah.
there's a rich pool of resources available for both clients. I think right now, the COVID period, we are educating them, or I would say creating more awareness on how to manage a remote team,
Yeah.
right? So yeah,
Yeah.
there's a lot we have to offer.
Amazing. Great. So speaking of COVID-19, a lot of people are working from home. A lot of companies have like
Mm,
these employees working remotely or hiring people
mm,
who work remotely. Did you have like that option of having people who want to work remotely, or were these like local employers hiring local talent?
mm.
Did you have this
Okay.
before, or is something you added to your platform after?
Okay, so for our platform, it's we leave that to the client. So we have clients coming and saying they want to hire engineers to work remotely. We have clients coming and say they want to hire them to work full time. So we leave that to the employer, whatever they want. Most of our clients outside Africa, they've hired remotely from us, right?
Yeah.
So I would say for local clients in Africa, remote, they've not been so, how do I put it? They've not been so accommodative of remote work, right?
Yeah.
Because I mean, it's not something common in this region, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, so although the software engineers they've been fighting for it, even we've been posting around, okay, this is how to manage your team remotely. Your team can still be productive while working remotely. So I'd say the software engineers are happy right now. At this,
Hmm.
like maybe about 80% of them, because now they've gotten the chance to work remotely and they can show prove to the employers that okay, during this COVID period, I've been working remotely, I've been productive. So can you extend my remote work period? You understand? So
Yeah.
for the clients, I think since the lockdown, I think Lagos had about 6 weeks of lockdown, and Ghana had about 6 weeks as well. So during that period, honestly speaking, I would say that most of our clients had to place their recruitment on hold. And my guess around that is because they didn't know how to manage the remote work or how to conduct interviews remotely, right? So
Yeah.
what we started doing was do a lot of awareness about how to manage a remote team. And I think when people saw that, okay, the lockdown was going beyond 1 week, 2 weeks, 6 weeks, they're like, okay, we have to get working. So it's something they had to adopt, right? So right
Yeah.
now we're still creating a lot of awareness. I think companies in Africa are beginning to embrace it because they have no choice.
Yeah.
So and the engineers are happy.
Yeah. Great. So yeah, remote working has its challenges, and
Yes,
especially like
yes.
people who never worked remotely or managers
Mm,
who never managed a remote team. Definitely important component to prepare for things like this pandemic that happened.
exactly.
If you have that strategy on how to adapt to like remote work, that
Mm,
definitely helps. Do some of the African programmers get jobs like abroad, like in the US or Europe? Do you
mm,
see like employers from those regions coming and hiring
mm.
African talent on your platform?
Mm. Oh, of course, of course. So, like I mentioned, we've worked with both local and international clients. We've worked with clients from Norway, the
Hmm.
US, and we have partners in Berlin and clients in Paris as well. So mostly those four countries. So yes, to mention, I'll say one notable client. We currently have one of our engineers in Cameroon working with Wikipedia on a project. So
Oh, nice.
yes, we have Delt.ai in Latin America. They are one of our clients. They're part of the Y Combinator class this year. We have Rintio in Paris. Rintio is one of our clients in Paris. And of course, local clients. We have Conga in Nigeria. We have Express Pay in Ghana. And we've also worked with banks. We work with banks in Nigeria. So yes, there's been a lot of interest from international markets in talent um, back here in Africa, and which is something really exciting because, and at this point, they might not necessarily be looking at relocating the engineer, because I think what most local clients were complaining about is, okay, these guys are just going to keep taking our talent away. Right?
Yeah.
But in this case, everyone is working remotely. All of the clients we've helped abroad, they've hired engineers that are working for them remotely. So,
Yeah.
well, you can say that the resources are still being put back into Africa, and
Yeah.
then our talent is gaining international recognition, so which is great for the continent as well.
Yeah. Great. Yeah. Keep doing what you're doing. You're doing an amazing job.
Thank you.
I'm sure, you know, in this day and age, you don't really have to be in USA to work for
Mm,
a company in USA to provide value to that company. And if
exactly.
you could be in Africa and work for a company that's anywhere in the world, as long as you have a computer and the internet, and then you do your job right and you're
Mhm.
productive. How do you help the young talent that you that you help to get jobs? Like, how do you help them be successful at their jobs once they get this job?
Okay. So for us, I would say we are building a tribe. It's not just that you get employed and then that's it for you as
Hmm.
a programmer, right? So even
Hmm.
before they get employed, we have resources, we have a learning path, we have engineers, we have both junior, intermediate, and senior engineers. So we are looking at having in the next 3 years at least a couple of our engineers come and say, okay, couldn't help me get from zero level to a senior engineer because of how they've helped me in my career and the resources that they have shared with me. So yes, once the engineer gets employed, and still this is dependent on the client. So if they want us to get involved, we can get involved. Like there's a lot more we can do. But as long as an engineer is signed up on our platform, we do monthly checks for our talent that works with the clients. Then, if the client allows, we can conduct training as well. Training on a regular basis. For example, if the engineer was hired as an intermediate engineer, they're like, okay, this and this are the resources you need to learn to get to the senior level. As much as you're working and it might take some years to get promoted within your company, but this and this are what you need to get to that point where you can go to your employer and say, okay, I feel at this point I should be promoted because this is what I've accomplished. These are the certifications that I have. So we share opportunities with them, and then we share resources with them. And I think this has really helped, especially for clients that are willing to work closely with us to help these engineers grow. So we can go beyond just online assistance and be there
Yeah.
and readily available for them in person.
Do you see a lot of women getting involved in tech, becoming programmers? Like, what would you say the percentage of women is of all the people that you help to get jobs in tech and coding?
So, honestly speaking, I'll say the number is still very small, but but it keeps growing on a yearly basis, right? So, compared to 2017 when we started, looking at it till now, the numbers have really improved, and even the improvement is just a small percentage. So, what we started doing, I think we kicked off in 2017 when we newly started. We do boot camps specifically for females, right? So, these boot camps are supposed to help them, even those that have like zero knowledge in coding. It can be as short as a 5 day boot camp. Then we do follow up and pair them with mentors that can assist them in their career path. So the aim of this boot camp is to introduce them to coding, and at the end of the boot camp, they have to have built a product and do a form of pitch, and the winner gets, it could be resources, it could be assistance, or there was one we did with I think Ghana, a hub in Ghana, where the candidates were offered 10,000 USD to continue pushing their product. Most of the candidates wanted to set it up as a startup. So we have such programs like this to encourage females. But I must say the percentage is still very small. But
Yeah.
I mean, we are trying to create a lot of awareness and tell ladies that, I mean, there are different aspects in tech. If you don't want to be a core programmer, you can be a product designer, you can be a UI UX personnel. So there are different fields you can go for. And of course, don't be intimidated and feel that this is a field only for men. I mean, the only
Yeah.
thing or the only person that can stop you from achieving such is yourself, right? You
Yeah.
wouldn't know hard or easy it is until you go in. And
Yeah.
still, to be very realistic, I try to tell them, don't expect it to get any don't expect to get easier, or so a typical example, because I've assisted in training software engineers as well, I still do for the female boot camp. So when you realize, when we introduce them to HTML, they're like, oh, this thing is not so hard, and they
Yeah.
continue to see it, they're like, okay, it's getting interesting. And then when they hit JavaScript, they're like, oh, coding is hard,
Yeah.
right? So if
Yeah.
you know when you're starting that, okay, um it's not like it's going to get tough, but don't expect it to be less challenging, right? So you have your mind prepared, you're aware.
Yeah.
When
Yeah.
you're going in, you can go in full force and know that, okay, this is what I want to do. But I would say the most important thing is this: know your why. Why are you going into coding? Are you going into coding because you've heard that people can make a lot of money eventually from this field, or because your friends are doing it? If you have a good reason for being a coder or being a woman in tech, then go for it. Go
Yeah.
for it. And when you start, well, you shouldn't be a quitter, right? That's why I keep saying, okay, don't expect it to get easy. When it gets tough, still don't quit. Continue,
Yeah.
because you know why, and they're passionate about what you are doing, right?
Yeah.
So I would say my encouragement is very important. You have to know your why, and go for it if you know that it's something for you. And then do a form of research. What career path can I take in the tech space, and why am I interested in it? Am I interested in being a programmer, like I said, or I want to be a product manager? If it's a career path you're interested in, then go for it. And still, the only person that can limit you is yourself.
That's great advice. So for people who are wondering, what does it really take to become a programmer? Do you really have to have like a strong math background, or like have a degree in engineering to be successful as a software engineer or programmer?
So absolutely not, because so maybe I should mention there was one of the trainings I facilitated here in Lagos State by the Lagos State government and one of the top tech company. So the idea of the training was to train, or the aim was to train 100 graduates on software development, and I was responsible for, I think, a little over 20 candidates. So we
Yeah.
watched candidates, or we trained candidates go from zero knowledge in coding to being full stack engineers in 3 months. It was a 3 months intensive training, 9 to 5, back to back, right? So
Yeah.
we had people from different fields that were not even computer science or tech related, and we watched them build awesome stuff, and we watched them scale from one level to the other in the challenges we gave them. So the answer to that is no. I don't think you need a background in, not I don't think, you don't need a background in mathematics or computer science or engineering to go into tech, but you need that drive, you need that persistence, right? Because or consistency is key when it comes to coding, because things are constantly changing in the tech space. So if you lie fallow for a little while, you just realize that, okay, your knowledge is obsolete, right?
Yeah.
So I would say zeal is one thing you need, zeal and consistency. So with both zeal and consistency, you can definitely thrive in this.
Great. Thank you for that. So a lot of people think they need a strong math background and have to
Mhm,
be computer wizard, like,
mhm,
uh, but yeah, you can definitely teach yourself. There are a lot of
mhm,
platforms that you can that help you um, kind of test the waters a little bit, like
mhm.
Code Academy, Khan
Exactly.
Academy. Like they're very
Free
a
code
lot of,
farm.
yeah,
Mm,
free code camp. How I know you touched on this a little bit. You joined an accelerator in Ghana.
mm.
Yeah,
Correct. Yeah.
yeah. So how did you get funding for your idea?
Okay, yeah. So, for us, it was, I would say it was kind of um, a direct investment, because so the accelerator program was 1 year, for 1 year. At the end of the training, you get a certificate of diploma in software entrepreneurship, and then your company could get funded, right? So that's kind of like the reward for successfully scaling through the program and coming out with a solid product that can scale globally. So I would say in my time, it was the final pitch was, because we went through a series of pivots, right? And the final pitch was we had, I think we had around 12 companies pitch, and then I think 9 of us were funded by Meltwater Foundation. So it was as a reason of the accelerator program that we got our funding. But I mean, for entrepreneurs that are maybe looking for funding, there are different, I think there are different options available. Accelerators can be very direct, and for us, it was 1 year, but there are shorter accelerator programs. I think Techstars is around 3 months. YC is still around, I think it's a bit shorter. So the accelerator programs like that, I think the idea of the accelerator program for my investor, they wanted to see the team. Their key focus for funding was does the team have the right strength or capacity to pull through? Because at the end of the day, you might have a very solid idea, you might have a great idea, but it's the team that is going to execute. So if the team is not strong enough to execute, then they will probably not invest. So investors have different criteria that they are looking for. So I think that's why accelerator programs come in. They want to study the founders first before they put in money. And then
Yeah.
there are VCs and angel investors that I would say maybe they just go by their guts, and maybe they have expertise in the field. They're like, okay, we want to invest in this because we believe we have the right network to push it. So
Yeah.
that's also available. So I'd say one platform that has helped a lot, because as much as we raise the pre-seed funding, we are currently raising the seed funding, so we are still out there speaking to investors right now. And in order to search for opportunities, there's a platform called Opportunities for Africans, OFA. So that's one platform that founders can check out to see different opportunities for accelerator programs, for fundraising, and the likes. And
Yeah.
then to get the right investor, you need to know what you want in your business, because at the stage my company is at now, for us, it's not just about money. It's about the investors that understand our field, about investors that have the right network to help us to get where we want to get to. So I would say founders need to understand that. They need to know what they want in an investor. They need to have a strong team, and they need to have traction, because even though we are in an accelerator program for a period of time, part of the reasons we also got funded was because we had traction. So traction could be number of users, it could be revenue, it could be signed letter of intent, whatever it is. But you need to show your investor that, okay, within this short period of time, even though I'm still at idea stage, this is what I accomplished. I've proven that there's product market fit, right? This is my
Yeah.
traction, and I need to so and so amount. This is so and so amount. This is where I can get to based on my projections. So you need to show an attractive projection, and then you need to have traction that appeals to the investor. Ideally, you just need to show that you're investable.
What other sectors do you see have uh,
Mm,
present opportunities that people who want to
mm,
come and invest or start startups
mm,
around those problems? Like,
mm,
what sectors can you mention that you see where uh,
mm.
problem solvers are needed in Africa?
For me, I believe the talent space is very attractive, right?
Hmm.
So I mean, it must not be just tech talent. I think because if you look at, well, I'll take my home country as an example, right? We have, I think, 50% of our population, if not more than 50, is the population of the youth. So what that means is that we have a very strong workforce, and
Hmm.
there's definitely opportunity in that field. So the space of talent is a very attractive one. And then
Okay.
personally, I have a strong interest in education.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think there's something to be done there. There's problems to be solved from the very basic level to even higher institutions, right?
Hmm.
So that's another one.
Just to comment a little bit on that one, do you think their jobs and these companies are having problems finding the talent? Is there like enough demand for
Mm,
these young people who have skills, and
mm.
employers are finding it hard to find them and employ them?
I think people just don't know where to search. So let me address it from the talent parts. Sorry, from the company's part first before I go to talent. So from the company's part, there's talent available in Africa, but maybe people don't know where to search for such talent. So there are lots of talents available in Africa
Yeah.
when you're talking even going beyond tech. I mean, because the population is already there, there's always someone that can do what you want. But the
Hmm.
major challenge I would say that people face is number one, they don't know where to search, right? And number two, quality. So as much
Yeah.
as there's I don't know which field to look into. Well, I still go back to my field, right? There are lots of
Yeah.
Java engineers. You have to be able to know, okay, what do you really want as a client? And how do you verify the quality of this Java engineer, right? A lot of people can write Java on their profile, their LinkedIn profile, and at the point where you're searching, you might mistakenly, part of the challenge we our clients mentioned is they've hired wrongly before, right? And
Mm.
for programmers, it might take a while, it might take you 2 months to realize that this guy doesn't really know what he's doing, right? So that's time wasted, you know. So that's part of the reasons we build. That's part of the reasons we built our testing platform, which verifies the coding skills of software engineers. So I would say, first of all, companies don't know where to search. Secondly, they don't know how to validate quality or differentiate. So you have put out an application for an accountant, 1,000 people apply. That is even a problem. There's too much applications. Then how do you sift through this application and get the best fit for your job? So
Mm-hmm.
identifying quality is one.
Yeah.
So now going to the talent side, of course, unemployment is definitely a challenge. And I would say, okay, let me go back to the company still. Um, I wouldn't want to say there's more demand than supply, but that could definitely be the case in many fields. But I think
Yeah.
that's the reason why, if you've been watching our stats for the past 3 years, a lot of or youths, mostly in the youth sector, have been going into entrepreneurship, especially women, which is very exciting. So people are like, okay, there are no jobs, I want to do my own thing, and they're doing their own thing. They're also creating employment, because they will definitely be employing people in whatever categories, small or medium-sized companies, right? So that's something that entrepreneurship has been growing massively in Africa, especially in Nigeria, which I have been studying for a while. I believe that we might get to a point where we have so many jobs, and unemployment might not be an issue. But for now, that is
Yeah.
not the case. There's still unemployment, and there's still underemployment.
Yeah.
So local clients or local companies don't want to pay too much, and it might be one of two things: either because they don't have the money, or they are not aware that this is how much standard they should pay this particular person, or this is what this person is worth. So a typical example would be, we have clients reaching out to us from outside of Africa, and they're asking, okay, what's the standard of payment like? What's the standard of living? What does a typical senior engineer needs to be comfortable in this region? So for the clients, local clients now, it might be that they don't understand the worth of the talent they are hiring. That's why they are paying them less than what they deserve, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, there's unemployment, there's underemployment, and
Mm-hmm.
even for the talent, I believe still the same problem I mentioned for the clients. They might not know where to search for necessarily for certain specific jobs, or the
Yeah.
fastest way to get certain specific jobs. So it's a mix of
Yeah.
different challenges at different levels. If you're looking at
Yeah.
corporates, their challenge is different. They put out
Yeah.
one ad and they get over 2,000 applications. You're looking for small startups, for example. They need to find, for example, software engineers. They don't know where to go to, right? They are struggling for 1 month. They have just maybe 10 applications, and they don't, even the 10
Oh, wow.
applicants are not good enough. So
Yeah.
depending on the size of the client or the corporate or the company, the problem differs, honestly.
Yeah. Thank you for that answer. Yeah,
Mm,
definitely. So there you have it. Aspiring entrepreneurs, there is a gap to be filled there in this
definitely.
staffing industry, as well as training the
Mm,
workforce so that
mhm,
they're ready to provide value to all these businesses that are
mm,
trying to create solutions that Africa needs, right?
exactly.
Yeah. So, what would you say was the most challenging part about founding and running your business?
First of all, we are addressing a double-sided market. So I think they always say the chicken and the egg problem, right? So you're
Yeah.
speaking to programmers, you're speaking to companies that want to hire them. You're like, okay, what's
Yeah.
your challenge? You document it, you go back to your drawing board, try to see, okay, what can I solve? I can't solve this problem. Which is the one I can solve? And not just the one I can solve. Which one can I solve that clients will be willing to pay for? Is this worth their money? You go back again. So we did, I would say we interviewed over 50 companies in a very short span while we're doing our market research. For programmers, we interviewed programmers across, we sent surveys to programmers outside Ghana region at the time. So we had so much data to deal with at the time. And it was a lot of back and forth, and I'll say pivots. We pivoted from the original idea we wanted to start with, right? So validating product market fit was a challenge for us. But the good thing is when we got it, we finally got it right. And we got verification from the client that yes, 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 this is what I want. You guys have finally gotten it. Even for the programmers, they are really excited. And right now they are signing up in their numbers on our platform. So it's not just about just finding a job, it's about helping you through your career path in the tech space. So I would say that was one for us. And then secondly, as expected, team dynamics,
Yeah,
right? So looking at where we are coming from, we have, like I mentioned, Anglophone West Africa, Francophone West Africa. We had East Africa.
yeah,
So I would say the first 3 months we had a bit of we were knocking heads, right? We were trying to understand each other. We're trying to understand how to relate to each other so you don't sound offensive, So it was a lot of trying to understand ourselves, a lot of adopting to I mean, you have to consider the other person before you make a decision or do certain things. And then what really helped us was we had some documented procedures on how to we documented almost everything, how to relate to this particular case when this comes up. So we struggled with team dynamics for about I think 3 months, but once we got it right, it was good for us. Like right now, we are like brothers and sisters.
yeah,
We know what we should say to each other. We have a very good understanding of
yeah,
each other. We understand each other's culture. So there's a lot of learning. Okay, this is how it's done in Kenya. Oh, in Ivory Coast, this is what you people believe. I'm even learning French right now. I'm not
yeah,
there yet, but I'm close.
yeah.
And my
Great.
co-founder Dexter has been assisting me. He's like, okay, hello, you have to learn. There was a time he promised me, he was like, if you can learn French in 1 month, I'll give you my 1 month salary. And I was really excited, but I couldn't meet up with his tax, right? So
Yeah.
yeah, I'll say mostly these two things, project market fit and team dynamics.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah, almost everyone that I've interviewed, I asked them, the not everyone, but most of them tell me that was like getting funding for their venture,
Okay.
that kind of stuff. But yeah, that was a very interesting one. Team dynamics. So all your co-founders also are also based in Ghana.
Yes, so we are
Okay.
working on CodeLn full time. So yes, they are all based in Ghana. So I shuffle Ghana, Nigeria, because I'm leading the company here in Nigeria as well.
Hmm.
So yes, we have offices in Ghana and Nigeria. So yes, we are
Yeah.
both. They are in Ghana. I come between Ghana and Nigeria.
Yeah, that's great information that like the people need, and these founders, people who want to start their businesses on the African continent. I'm sure they will be inspired by your story and your
Thank you.
company and what you're doing. What kind of advice would you give to aspiring entrepreneurs who want to start businesses in Africa, or businesses that help African
Mm.
communities? Like,
I always say don't expect it to be easy, not get easy. Definitely get easy because I mean the challenges we were facing when we started are not the same challenges. Now we have good problems, I would say, right? So we are talking about initially when we started it was like, okay, how can we find clients to use our product? How can we get people to test our product? But now people are coming in their numbers. We don't have challenge with software engineers. We have over 9,000 of them. Right? We are filling positions in a short period of time. So now we're at the point where we are saying, okay, how can we make our service and product more efficient, right? So the challenges definitely gets reduced as you grow older in entrepreneurship, but understand that you have to have guts to go into entrepreneurship because challenges will definitely come. So if you are sure that this is for you, they say entrepreneurship is not for everyone. If you are sure that this is for you, give it a go, put all
yeah.
your efforts and be willing to take risk and understand still that there are times when you get broke and
Yeah.
what will continue to keep you going is the passion. So whatever it is you are going to be working on, ensure that you have passion for it because I mean it's not the money that keeps you awake at night at 2 a.m. when others are sleeping,
Yeah.
right? It's the passion of for what you want to achieve, right? You know that okay, this way I want to get to, this is my projections. this is my runway, or this is my roadmap for this and this area. So as an entrepreneur, you need to work extra hard. You're no more an employee. So go for it if you know that you are ready for it. You are ready to, you have the guts for it. You are ready to take risk that may arise, and um, don't be um, if you're in entrepreneurship, rejection is something that you cannot avoid. So question is, are you able to deal with rejection? So when rejection comes, can you still stand and say, I know this is definitely what I want to do. I'm still going to continue with it, right? So that's for the negatives. Now, for the positive side, it is definitely rewarding. Trust me, it is definitely rewarding. If you look at, even looking locally, we have lots of. I just found out this week that there are over 400 African companies, like strictly owned African companies, that are worth billions of dollars. Over 400. So initially, before I found out this, the person that told me about it, one of my mentors, asked us, how many companies do you think are African owned that are over $1 billion? And we're saying 10, 20, 25. But she told us it's 400 and gave us resources to check it out. So I was really amazed. I was like, okay. So it means that, okay, there are Africans that are doing it and are doing it really well, right? So what makes you different, right? So all
Yeah.
you just need is the drive and the passion. You can definitely achieve it. So it's
Yeah.
definitely rewarding, right? And Africa is, like they say, is an emerging market. So if you can come up with something or solve a problem, you could even be a first mover and take a huge share of the market before competitors start trooping in. So there's definitely lots of opportunities in Africa. You just need to identify what sector you're interested in, and still what sector you have the expertise to solve certain problems. So it's very important. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's definitely rewarding. I would say give it a go. I always knew that I was not this 9 to 5 person. I was not an employee kind of person. I had
Yeah.
this drive. I had something in me that I wanted to bust out. I knew that I wanted to do something of my own. I wanted to create impact. So is this something that you know as
Yeah.
an entrepreneur, right? And if you're feeling that this is what you want to do, this is it for you, give it a go, and trust me, you won't regret it.
Awesome. Very powerful advice. There you have it, guys. Do something you're passionate about. Give it a go. Don't be afraid.
Mhm.
And it's rewarding. So, lastly, can you tell people how they can find you or support your business if you need support?
Awesome. Very good one. So, like I mentioned, we are currently raising our seed round. We are very interested in speaking to interested investors. So, I can be reached. I'm very available on LinkedIn, right? So I try to make it easy for people to reach me on all social media platforms. My handle is just my first name and my last name, Elohor Thomas, together. So on
Hmm.
Twitter, on LinkedIn, on Facebook, I'm mostly on LinkedIn and Twitter once in a while. So I can definitely be reached by that. For the business, our email is info@codeln.com, codeln with an L. So
Yeah.
that's info@codeln.com. And you can also reach out to us via our website, www.codeln.com. And we have a chat response system. So it can be as quick as 1 minute. You chat us up and then we reply immediately.
Yeah.
So, be it investors, be it clients that are interested in hiring tech talent, be it programmers that are interested in taking their career to the next level and getting their dream jobs, please feel
Hmm.
free to reach out to me or to reach out to the business. We are definitely available to speak.
Great. Yeah, definitely. I would recommend they reach out to you on LinkedIn because you're very responsive. That's how we connected.
Exactly.
And you were very nice and prompt. Really, really appreciate you coming on and sharing your story and giving advice. Yeah, I wish you all the best, and we'll definitely be in touch. And a lot of people will be inspired by your story. Yeah.
Thanks a lot. It's been a pleasure.